Well, you guys, I did it. I finally got around to trying out the Pico 8, and I'll tell you what, it's pretty freaking cool. Honestly, if you're watching this video, I'm assuming you probably already have an idea of what the Pico 8 is, but for those who don't, for those who have just clicked on this video or who are curious, I'll run through it real quick. So the Pico 8 is a self-described on their own website fantasy console. And honestly, I've been super impressed with the quality of these games, with how fun they are. I enjoy retro gaming, and if you enjoy retro gaming, you're gonna love the Pico 8. On the Pico 8, you'll find all different genres of games. There's arcade style games you can pick up and play for a few minutes, and there's RPGs you can play for a few hours. But I'm not going to just tell you how cool the Pico 8 is and how fun the games are. We're going to go over 10 of the games that I've tried so far. These aren't like a list of my top 10 games for the Pico 8. This is literally just, I went on the website, got like 30 games, and these are 10 of those games that I thought were cool. Honestly, more than 10 of those games were cool. But for brevity's sake, we're going to go over 10 of these games, and I try to grab some from different genres so you can kind of get a broad view of the spectrum of games you can expect to find on the Pico 8 system. The first game we're going to talk about is called Birds with Guns. It's exactly what it sounds like. You get to pick from a plethora of bird characters, and you run around with guns shooting stuff, and it's a lot of fun action mayhem. This game kind of gives me like Hotline Miami vibes. It's kind of intense. There's bullets coming everywhere from all kinds of enemies. You got to dodge, hide behind cover. You got all kinds of weapons. There's like automatic weapons, shotguns, snipers. It's definitely a super fun game. If you get Pico 8, check it out. The next game we're going to talk about is Dinky Kong. This game is a clone of Donkey Kong, as you can tell from looking at the footage. But it's a really good clone. Like, this is a great way to play Donkey Kong. There are actually a decent amount of clone games like this on the system. I also saw Q*bert, and here in a minute we're going to talk about Tetris, which is another clone game I tried. But still, super fun version of Donkey Kong. If you like Donkey Kong, check it out. The next game we're going to talk about is called Downward. So honestly, I don't know what this genre is called. I played another game very similar to this on the Switch called Downwell, and I'm thinking that this game is a clone of Downwell, although to be fair, I don't know that for sure. So if Downwell is like a clone of Downward, sorry about that. But the gameplay is basically you're endlessly falling down this giant hole, and your goal is to stay alive as long as you can. There'll be enemies that shoot at you, obstacles in the way, and you basically shoot like feet guns downwards, and they can kind of make you jump up and slow your descent. And they can also hit enemies and obstacles, and you collect coins, and it's kind of fun. You can use those coins to buy different hats that you can wear on your character. Great little pick up and play arcade game. I played this one a few times already, actually. I really like this kind of game. The next game on our list is Guncho. It describes itself as a Wild West roguelike. In this game, you're a cowboy on a grid of all these hexagons, and your goal is to take out all these like bandit guys. You can move, sprint, wait, use your revolver, or do your like super move, which shoots in all directions at one time. This game is really challenging because it's a one-hit game over, so if you want to get far, you really got to slow down and plan out your next move with some caution, or else you're going to get got pretty quick. This game's art style is really fun. I love the whole Western aesthetic. Definitely check out Guncho. The next game on our list is wild, dude. It is a fighting game called Hakai. I think that's how you pronounce it, H-A-K-A-I. But regardless of how you say it, it's really freaking cool, and I really have enjoyed playing it so far. It's kind of hard. This game is basically an anime fight simulator. There's a few different characters you can play as, and each one has different abilities. But in the gameplay, you're these tiny little characters in this massive stage, and the whole time it's just chaotic. You're zooming around the stage, and you're flying back and forth, trading blows. You try to stack up these combos. You can charge up your superpower moves. You can shoot energy blasts. The whole thing's just like chaotic and crazy, and it really feels like you're just playing like an 8-bit version of a Dragon Ball Z episode. Super, super fun game. I really like this one. Definitely give it a look if you try Pico 8. The next game on our list is actually our first RPG. This game is called Little Eidolons. And again, forgive me if I'm pronouncing any of these names wrong. I'm not quite sure how this is pronounced, so I'm just going to go with Eidolons. This game is kind of a creature collector reminiscent of Pokemon. However, what's cool about this game is that when you enter a battle, it's not just a one-on-one turn-based system like Pokemon. When you enter a battle, it turns into a tactical RPG style grid-based combat, similar to a game like Fire Emblem. From what I've played of this game so far, it's very fun, offers a nice challenge. It was actually more challenging than I expected, so you really do got to be careful and pay attention to the stats and the effects of what each monster does and doesn't do. They each have different abilities and attack styles, strengths and weaknesses, so it offers a lot more depth than you might think at first glance. Definitely check this one out. This is one of the only RPGs I've played on the Pico 8 so far, and I'm really enjoying it. The next one is Oblivion Eve. This game to me was another one on my list that was very visually impressive to me. This game is an action platformer where you enter a room and have to kill all the enemies in that room. Once you take out all the enemies in that room, you can then upgrade your weapon with 1 out of 3 choices every time you get 3 choices. And I love how when you hit an enemy, they just kind of go flying and bounce around the screen. But it takes a few hits to kill them, so it's kind of hard actually, because you hit them, they fly over here, bounce around a little bit, and then they wake back up and start attacking you again. So this game's actually pretty tough, offers a nice difficulty. Definitely check it out if you like action platformers. gamers. The next game we're going to talk about is Pico Tetris. There were actually a few versions of Tetris I tried on the Pico 8. I really love Tetris, one of my favorite all-time games, and I think this one's probably my favorite so far. Just a very clean, very straightforward Tetris clone. When the blocks land, it has this kind of nice punchy animation that makes it feel substantial, and everything just kind of feels natural and feels like Tetris. So if you enjoy Tetris, check out Pico Tetris. Our next game is another racing game, Pico World Race. This game is very similar to Outrunner, so if you like Outrunners, you're going to love this game. I really love the visual style of this game. I think it looks pretty good, and it really plays good too. The control of your car feels good, it doesn't feel too loose, and there's also a nice drifting mechanic that feels great as well. So if you like retro racing games with that kind of top-down perspective, definitely check out this one. Super fun, I really enjoyed it. The second to last game on our list is Golf Sunday. If you like old school golfing games, definitely check this one out. This one so far is a lot of fun. It actually starts out kind of like an RPG or this tiny little character, and you enter the golf course and you actually physically run around each little golf hole. And after you hit the ball, your character has to run to the new location of the ball. So you don't just kind of teleport around as you hit the ball. So it's kind of a cool play style where you actually have to walk around on the golf course. Each time you hit the ball, you have to go to the new place that you hit it to hit it again. And it's a pretty fun little golf game too. So far the putting though, I've been having a hard time with. Like, I don't know if I'm just not good at it or if it's actually kind of hard, but I kept missing my putts like constantly. I would always under putt for some reason. But all in all, so fun. It's been a pretty fun little golf game. Definitely check it out. So interestingly, our final Pico 8 game isn't a game at all. Yes, that is correct. Our final Pico 8 game is not a game. It's actually a music album. It's called Pico Chill, and it's by an artist named Gruber. So how it works is you boot it up like a regular game, and it'll play a fun little animation of somebody creating their own little Pico 8 game. It's reminiscent of like the Lo-Fi Girl, if you ever listened to that channel, or like Chill Hop is another one of those channels where they have those cool animations in the background while some chill like lo-fi hip-hop plays. And so far from what I've listened to of it, it's a great chill little album. So definitely something a little more interesting on the Pico 8 there. An entire music album. So I added this to the list because I just thought it was really cool. And even though technically it's not a game, it is on the Pico 8. So I just wanted to include it to kind of show you the diversity of what you can find on the Pico 8 system. And yeah, there you have it. 10 great Pico 8 games that I've tried so far.